Thank you for purchasing Lo-Bak TRAX. We think this is the easiest, most comfortable way to treat back pain at home. But Lo-Bak TRAX can do more than just traction the spine. It can help simplify a lot of stretches people commonly do for back pain. Today, we want to show you how to get the most out of your new Lo-Bak TRAX with these bonus stretches. Most people with back pain have other areas that bother them in addition to their back. Here, we want to show you how to specifically target the hip and SI joint, which is a very common secondary area of pain and tightness. The first technique we're going to show you to target the SI joint and hips is what we call the V thighs. Our model Tammy is in the Lo-Bak TRAX posture, which has her laying comfortably on a comfortable surface with her legs pulled up. To accomplish the V thigh posture, she will bring her feet together, touching in the midline. She will approximate her heels as close as she comfortably can to her buttocks, and then let the thighs fall out in a V shape into a comfortable position. Then taking Lo-Bak TRAX and positioning it on the thighs, she can now selectively target which hip or SI joint that is bothering her. If she has pain in the right SI or hip, all she has to do is simply push more on the right side, on this right handle. The left handle is basically guiding her. She's pushing through the right and targeting the right SI joint and hip and even the lower back region. If she has pain in the left SI joint or hip, all she has to do is push more through the left handle, guiding with the right, and now she's specifically targeting the SI joint, the hip, and the lower back on the left side. If she really wants to hit just the midline of the lowest part of the back, using this V thigh posture, all she has to do is push towards the middle in the typical Lo-Bak TRAX posture. This positioning offers targeted traction force specifically to your painful areas and allows you to customize a treatment specifically for you. The next stretch we can do to target the SI joint and hip area is what we call the ankle to thigh posture. The way this is accomplished, our model Tammy lays in the typical Lo-Bak TRAX posture, and then we ask her to take her right ankle and place it on her left thigh. This would be done to target the right SI joint and hip area. Now taking the Lo-Bak TRAX device and positioning it as normal, Tammy lays back and relaxes, and now her force is going to be pushed mainly through the right handle. The left handle will function to just guide the device. All her force is being generated through the right handle, and she's targeting the SI joint and hip area specifically. Now we caution you to take it easy and go slowly with this technique. That is because if you tend to push too hard, you may cause muscle spasm. This is a very powerful technique and can cause reactive muscle spasm. So go slowly and listen to your body and push as comfortable as possible. Now, to be more specific and pinpoint target your pain even more detailed, you can simply move the thigh contact up higher on the thigh to hit higher up in the SI joint, hip region, or low back region. Just by moving the thigh contact and pushing with force on that side will hit different areas of the SI joint. And you can vary it depending on your area of complaint. You can move it up or down the thigh. So this offers specific targeted traction force that's customizable to your specific painful area. The stretches we are about to show you are the most commonly prescribed stretches for back pain, but Lo-Bak TRAX makes them almost effortless to perform because of its unique design and solid metal construction. The first common low back stretch we are going to show you is the typical double knees to chest. Simply by taking Lo-Bak TRAX and having Tammy drape it over her legs, onto her lower legs, we can stretch the low back. If this is uncomfortable for you, if the metal hitting your tibia bone here, the bone is close to the surface, if that's uncomfortable, simply drape a towel over your legs before doing this. All she has to do now is simply pull her legs back towards her chest, effectively stretching the whole low back area and hip area. This stretch is very commonly prescribed and very effective. However, most of the times people do this stretch, they're using their hands and they're curling up their body. Please notice how Tammy is able to relax totally her upper body and her lower body and simply pull with the two handles. She can even simply pull with a few fingers. If that bothers your wrists or is uncomfortable on your wrist, you can change the wrist position and grip it a little differently and pull in this fashion, effectively stretching the low back in a simple guided maneuver. Lo-Bak TRAX is so effective because there is no give. It is solid metal construction. And that pulls the legs back and requires less force. When there is give, like in a rubber band or stretching band, that requires a lot more muscular effort to accomplish the same stretch. If this position is uncomfortable and the towel doesn't work or you don't have a towel, there's another simple way you can do this stretch. Simply loop Lo-Bak TRAX behind the legs and contact the thighs or the fleshy part of the leg. And now do the same maneuver and pull towards the chest. That technique accomplishes low back stretching, bringing the knees to the chest in a fashion that's comfortable. But it is more effective because you're using a solid metal device with no give, allowing the muscles in the rest of the body to relax and accomplishing a more effective back stretch. The next back stretch that is commonly prescribed is the single knee to chest. This is more to target side to side. The way this is performed with Lo-Bak TRAX is to simply do a single knee to chest stretch. We'll show you on Tammy's right side, her right knee. So we'll have her lower the left leg down to the table. She can take a Lo-Bak TRAX, and because of its V design, she can loop it right over the leg. Again, the solid metal construction and no give allows maximum force to be applied with minimal effort. She can simply pull towards her in this fashion, using the hands in that position, or she can change the hand grip up so that she's pulling if that's more comfortable for you. If this technique is too painful for the lower leg because of the solid metal and it's digging in here, you can simply loop Lo-Bak TRAX again behind the leg to the fleshy part and again pull the knee towards the chest. So she's effectively stretching the low back on the right side and specifically targeting that side if that were her area of complaint. Lo-Bak TRAX, because of its solid metal construction and design, allows you to specifically target the right side of the low back with this right single leg stretch. That gives you targeted traction or stretching force that allows you to specifically target your painful areas. Another good way to target side to side painful areas is by doing hip rotation type stretches. They can be accomplished using the Lo-Bak TRAX device, either double knee to chest or single knee. We'll demonstrate both. You take a Lo-Bak TRAX device, loop it around the thighs like the knee to chest stretch. Now you can pull the knees towards the chest and then you can choose to rotate it side to side. This will stretch the lower back and the hip muscles out. You can then pull to this side and do the same thing. If this technique is uncomfortable, again, we can do this technique with the Lo-Bak TRAX device looped behind the lower legs onto the thighs. And again, you can pull the knees towards the chest and rotate to either side. You can do this as a general stretch or to target a specific area that's bothering you. To further target, we can do a single knee to chest, and we'll do this with the right leg. We'll have Tammy lie that down. We'll loop the Lo-Bak TRAX over the lower leg. And again, we'll have her pull her knee towards her chest and then add on the rotation. You can stretch the outside of the hip muscles, or you could stretch the inside of the hip muscles, depending on which way you want to traction or stretch. If this technique is uncomfortable on the outside, again, you can loop Lo-Bak TRAX to the inner part of the thigh on the fleshy part, and again, pull the knee towards the chest, and then rotate. Again, this demonstrates the ability Lo-Bak TRAX has to specifically target painful areas. This allows you to customize a treatment specific to you because your back pain is different than my back pain or Tammy's back pain. You can do knees to chest, you can do hip rotations, you can do single knee to chest, vary it, all depending on your unique situation. And that's the beauty about Lo-Bak TRAX. It allows you to customize a treatment specific to you in your home by yourself. The next stretch we're going to show you with Lo-Bak TRAX is the hamstring stretch. Again, hamstring stretching is commonly prescribed to help decrease back pain. The way Lo-Bak TRAX accomplishes a hamstring stretch is this way. We'll have Tammy hold the device. We'll have her loop the V over her foot. You may want to do this in this posture with the leg bent. As your hamstring stretches out more, and you get more advanced with stretching your hamstrings, you can straighten the other leg out. And again, you can take a little pressure off by having a bend in your knee here, or if you get more advanced, you can try straightening that knee out. Notice here that Tammy is effectively stretching her hamstrings using just her hand here. This is a unique ability of Lo-Bak TRAX. You can effectively stretch the hamstring just by pulling the leg towards your head. Another nice option that you can do using Lo-Bak TRAX while stretching the hamstring muscles is to target different areas in the muscle simply by letting her leg fall out towards me. Now she's hitting different muscles in the hamstring group. Because of its solid metal design, it is better than the tubing that you see often done in this position because the tubing has give. That requires her to curl up her trunk and pull more on the tubing. With Lo-Bak TRAX, because it's solid metal, she simply pulls with a few fingers. As you notice, she's not using a whole heck of a lot of muscles here. The body's relaxed, her arms are relaxed, her other legs is relaxed, and she's getting a more effective stretch, and she's getting a more targeted stretch based upon how she's pulling and positioning herself. Again, that's the beauty of Lo-Bak TRAX. It allows you to target specifically where your pain is, where your tight muscles are. No other device allows you to target as specifically as Lo-Bak TRAX. And by the way, you get to do this all at home, and you get to customize it to your unique situation. If you have had joint replacement surgery, please check with your doctor before using Lo-Bak TRAX to make sure you are healthy enough to tolerate its use. If you can lie down, but can't bend the knees sufficiently, you can always drape them over a chair, couch, or ottoman. The final stretch we will demonstrate for you today are the legs draped over a chair, couch, or ottoman. We will have Tammy move her thighs closer towards the ottoman. This will form a nice 90-degree angle and make the traction force more effective. She'll take a Lo-Bak TRAX device, position it in the thighs, and then perform the typical Lo-Bak TRAX maneuver of tractioning the spine by pushing towards the ottoman. If she desires to target the right side more, all she has to do is push more through the right handle. If she would like to try to target different areas of the spine, she can simply move up or down the thigh. Alternately, she can also do that on the left side if the left side is bothering her. That is the point behind Lo-Bak TRAX. It's a simple, easy device that you can customize to your pain at home. It offers targeted traction force right to the spot that really hurts. It puts all the power in your hands. All you have to do now is use Lo-Bak TRAX. So as we have just shown you, this simple tool can do so much more than just simply traction the spine like other devices. Those other devices cost hundreds more and really can't fit in a suitcase. Lastly, you now realize the ability Lo-Bak TRAX has to specifically target and treat your painful areas caused by back pain and tight muscles. The targeted traction force Lo-Bak TRAX offers is new technology not offered by any other device. Please watch this DVD several times and practice using Lo-Bak TRAX to customize a treatment specific to your back and surrounding muscles to solve your pain. You now have a simple tool to accomplish this. It's up to you to do it. Thank you for purchasing Lo-Bak TRAX, and we sincerely wish you pain-free days ahead.